back to Mint Out of the Box, the only action figure unboxing show here on YouTube where I use my 40 plus years of hands-on action figure collecting to break down today's current product, classic product, and anything else that comes across my desk. I am your host, the godfather of toys, the J-Bomb. As you can see, I'm not by myself today. And I'm not arguing with the disembodied voice of producer Steph, but she is here. Say hi, producer Steph.
We don't argue. We love.
Do
loudly.
Do we love?
Do you?
As you can see, I'm joined by my friend for over 20 years. He's not just my friend. He's more like a brother to me. My former tag team partner. We've traveled the roads together. We've shared the ring together. We've done probably more than I should probably talk about here in this arena together. Mm-hmm. My good friend, we call him Ball because we both share the same name. And if we both called ourselves a godfather, it'd make the show really confusing.
Although he is the godfather of my son.
So it all works out.
Yes.
So he called me up yesterday. I was kind of it was kind of ironic. I was thinking about doing a rundown of some AEW stuff anyway, and he decided, hey, I want to come over and open up this Ringside Collectibles exclusive 2-pack of Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley from their death match a couple months back. But also he was going. Well, I'll let you tell the story.
So I was going through some stuff at my parents' house, and I noticed that I had a lot of these old FMW figures, and kind of was going through them, and I found this FMW figure right here, and I noticed I had two of them. One was unopened. Well, they were both unopened, so I thought might as well bring this one, open it, and since AEW did their own version of an exploding death match, I thought why not do both, one classic and one up to date.
And for anyone that might be younger in the audience, yeah, that's a compliment to me though, because they all know what goes on when the camera turns off. Well, anyway,
a lot of humping of air
and other things. These wrestling figures kind of blew up, and kind of the quick history when the Hasbro kind of comic-y looking figures from WWF ended, there was a gap, and nothing came around till about 97 when Jack Pacific started making their bone crunching figures. Well, around that time, wrestling figures just got hot everywhere, and we actually part of some of the crap we were into, we knew people that were going to Japan, and they're bringing back these Japanese wrestling figures. They're very very primitive, very non-articulated, but they're super cool because like nobody had them. I mean, between the both of us, we had a lot of them, which is kind of funny because looking at this set here reminded me of the Onita pack that came with the barbed wire and all that. And I remember I took mine out and put it around the ring, had this whole thing before I sold my expansive wrestling figure collection.
But it wasn't just the FMW figures either. They did New Japan as well.
All Japan. They had Stan Hansen. They had the Great Muta, Chono. They had everybody.
Jushin Liger. Before they came out with the new figures of Jushin Liger as well.
I had a Terry Funk with an NWA belt that I sold to Richard from Championship Online podcast. They've been on here a few times. I sold him a lot of really cool Japanese wrestling figures, so Richard, you're welcome. But we decided we were going to open this up, so why don't you go ahead and open this up, and we'll run it down real quick.
All right.
And show you just, this is late 90s technology. And hi, producer Steph. How you doing this week?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
You should see all the fun stuff I found.
She did find a lot of cool stuff this week. It was a really good week of finds. But
and then the back with the card.
The back of it's all in Japanese. We'll get I think we got some close-ups of this stuff already. But as you see, the figure, the legs don't move, the arms kind of just move.
It was mostly in their signature poses when they did the announcing in the ring.
And I think they made different versions of him in different outfits.
They had black, red, and white, the same that they had with Jushin Liger, where he had the red outfit, the white, and the black. And then Muta had the NWO Muta, and there was a red and a black Muta as well.
So for a lot of you, I don't know, I'll just give you a quick rundown. Hayabusa was kind of the guy we heard about a lot. You got to remember, at this time was the infancy of the internet, so we were getting scratchy, grainy clips online. But because of who we knew, we were actually getting videos from Japan, and we were able to watch Hayabusa, and everyone was all amazed because we'd never seen that kind of stuff before. And then tragically, a few years later, in a move went wrong, and he landed on his neck.
He was trying for a springboard moonsault and slipped. One foot completely slipped off, and he was already in rotation, and his forehead hit the mat and broke his neck. The match is out there on YouTube if you guys want to find it, but
it's hard to watch.
It is very hard to watch because you literally see someone paralyzed from the neck down in that match. And it was strange because after that happened, they stopped the match, and then he cut a promo in the ring, and it was a little weird. Instead of just getting him out and trying to get medical attention, he cut a promo really fast. But years later, he ended up, I think, owning FMW. He bought it from Onita, and then he later sold it, and then 2 years later, after he sold it, he passed away.
So, like I said, and this was the time of the extreme, the death matches, the barbed wire matches, all the crazy stuff that's going on in Japan that you've seen classically of Mick Foley doing, things like that. This was that era. So that's what was going on in Japan. That kind of, a lot of that bled over here through ECW and some independents and stuff. So
like XPW, which was one fed that we used to go to all the time, which is also making a comeback now.
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Yeah, it's in Pomona.
I wonder why they talked to us about when they did the Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah.
Never mind. Besides that,
we won't go there.
So this is from Ringside Collectibles. Out there, Ringside Collectibles does a lot of exclusive figures for AEW, for WWE. Real cool stuff. Sometimes it might hurt the pocketbook a little bit, but some of it's so cool you can't do without. I mean, you could take a risk and wait for it to drop down in price, or you could be like me and buy it right at the top of the market, because you don't want to miss out, because there's a lot of things out there for Ringside Collectibles that I sat on and didn't get, and now I don't have it. So I try not to make that mistake again.
And the thing that sucks with Ringside Collectibles is after a certain amount of time, they'll make it, and then let's say you don't get it for about 6 months, and if it sells out, they will make another limited run of it, and then they won't make it anymore after that.
Yeah, so then that creates a premium. You got to go in the secondary market to get it, and
all of a sudden you're meeting people at 9:30 at night in the Starbucks parking lot.
Did that at a pavilion.
4 figures. You have to complete that. You can't leave it right there, because the show becomes something different when you say it like that.
I did it outside of Avon Pavilions for a Cody figure too.
See, so it happens.
Okay.
Producer Steph was freaked out because the other night we were laying in bed, our marital bed, and I got a text at 9:30 at night, meet me in the parking lot. I have some things for you. So we motor on down to the Starbucks parking lot at 9:30 at night. Now, mind you, we'd already showered and gone to bed, and we are a married couple. Let's put it that way. And I quick put on clothes and ran down and got a trunk full of action figures that I still in my trunk.
Probably melted by now with the heat outside.
See, producer Steph has thought she'd seen everything in the few years she's been with me. Are you still seeing stuff new for the first time, Steph?
Every week. Every week.
So
try being friends with him for 20 years. Is some of the shit that you've seen.
Working on it.
It's not rare. When you're in an action figure game, you got to be ready. I try to explain to producer Steph. When you're in an action figure game, you got to be ready at a moment's notice. You never know. It's like Donald Trump said, the art of the deal. When the deal strikes, that guy could have changed his mind at 10 o'clock.
You have me getting up for work an hour earlier when you see those posts on Instagram. Oh, hit this Walmart, hit that Walmart. I know.
See, men out there, you too can control your lady like that if you know what you're doing. Check out my other channel. I'm starting How to Pimp the Hoes. Hey, put that knife down.
I'm going to quickly turn away so I don't see a stabbing happen.
So, back to the show. I'm going to give him the handy dandy bat knife because this is his actual AEW set. So you can open this up and we'll take a look at it and see what you can expect from ooh, like butter. If I end up dying,
He did a smooth like butter.
that's my line. You can start over there. This is very intricate. As we're sitting here, producer Steph found me this exclusive Walmart Hangman Page that comes with his frilly cowboy shirt and his AEW belt, which he no longer owns. It's, as you can see here, it's a Walmart exclusive. I was actually going to open this up today, but since we're doing this, you know what? Maybe I should just open it up because it looks like you'll be there for a minute.
Trying to get it all out.
I can open this because producer Steph was nice enough to buy me two, so I got my carded example. Right next to the bed where everyone needs your Hangman Page figure. Just in case someone calls at 9:30 at night and needs an each in the parking lot. Why was that such a hang up to you? Because you've been on that for a couple days.
When we were in bed, I've never seen you get up that fast.
To be fair, I've been trying to make this deal for like a month.
I'm just saying.
And oh shit.
Someone flying.
Hangman Page's hands are gone. We'll find him.
Somewhere on the floor.
Here he is. Sorry, he came out making that weird body pose. But it comes with the AEW belt. It's a rubber band to his shoulder. He's wearing his jeans and his little cowboy thing. He comes with a beer mug, like some of his other figures. And it looks like a glass. I will put that there. His hands went over here somewhere. It comes with an extra set of hands. They went flying. I've never had that happen before. That's a first. I always complain that they put stuff in these packages too tight. Maybe I should stop.
Maybe they finally heard you.
Maybe I should stop bitching.
Now, in everything that you display, have you ever switched out the hands?
No, because it's a new thing. It's only been recently. And if you guys could see what it looks like in here, you can tell I don't really do a whole lot.
I have kind of a bag full of hands and also a bag full of just like loose things that come with a lot of these figures.
I don't have any examples here because I actually put a lot of stuff away. But when we open up our loose ones, because as you all know, we're going to be moving to Tennessee in the next couple of years, and I'm going to turn this thing into a huge, huge display. I put my loose figure into a bag with all the hands and accessories and stuff. I will switch out the hands when I buy it for the ones I want to have for that figure. Because some guys, need the finger or need this or whatever they're doing. The producers, as they're doing that, producer Steph is taking some shots of the condition of this place.
Alright, there's Mr. Moxley.
Okay. See Moxley here comes with a barbed wire covered bat, which is actually pretty cool detail. They actually took some plastic barbed wire and put it onto the bat and didn't make it one molded piece like the Mick Foley barbed wire bat or the Triple H barbed wire bat.
And they did it with the chair as well.
And the barbed wire chair. Like I said, that's what reminded me of the Onita set because you're able to do that.
Mr. Omega.
Yeah, Kenny Omega, who looks like the drummer from Trickster. But that's the 2-pack. And so, like I said, it comes with a couple tables.
Comes with barbed wire that you can wrap around the tables, the championship belts, and then an extra set of hands for each guy.
So it's a pretty cool set. I mean, you gotta probably take some of that barbed wire and put it around the ring. And have a barbed wire. That's what I did with mine. Made it look a lot more cool. And I think I put Sabu and Terry Funk into it because that was one of my favorite matches back when I thought that the hardcore stuff was cool, and then when I finally experienced it in real life, it wasn't as cool anymore. So
the one cool thing about this is kind of like how AEW did with the Blood Brothers set as well.
I do have that. I never got one to open, but I got it.
And how they put, like, growing up, I had, the wrestlers, and I would play with them, and I would use, we didn't have the chairs that came with them, so I had Game Boy cases, and I would use that as a chair.
That's pretty smart.
And so you would use that, and you'd take, like, a washable marker, and you'd have guys, gig or blade or whatever. Now it kind of seems cool that they're doing this because it kind of adds some realism to the figures as well.
Yeah, see, I had I had either the AWA Remco or the LJNs. So you'd have to get a big ass chair or a big ass something for the LJNs. I think the most intricate thing I ever did for those was I got a hold of the Junkyard Dog figure, had a collar that attached and a small chain. Well, I got a hold of a second collar, and then I went to Home Depot and got a length of chain, and I was able to have a chain match between I recreated the Roddy Piper, Greg Valentine chain match that way.
I recently just watched that match.
Yeah. And then I built a scaffold for a scaffold match until I realized it's almost as boring playing with your LJN figures on a scaffold as it was watching the scaffold match. But when we were kids, I was like, oh, wow, a scaffold match. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, wow, scaffold match. And then I built a scaffold over my LJN ring. And that ring was huge. It was a huge ring because the figures were really big. Oh, then another cool thing is like when somebody got hurt, someone had a broken arm, plumber's tape. You would take it and wrap it around and you could make a nice cast.
You have quite the history with plumber's tape.
We don't talk about that. You gonna take a picture of that and put it in the video?
No, we don't want to get banned. So you spent the last 4 or 5 minutes opening this one set, knowing that kids aren't going to be playing with this. It's more collectible. Why so many accessories?
I think that's why.
Because one of the things I did buy was the AEW scale ring, the replica scale ring, and so with a lot of that, you can use this because we both follow a lot of the same people on Instagram, which are like Fig Heel or any of the other like guys that actually do some of this stuff. So you can create your own things and set up like displays how you have here. And I think it's just it brings out the collector, but it also brings out the inner kid where it's like, oh, I wish I could have these dream matches, or I could do this dream match with this person and this person. And it's just basically like still living out the fantasy that you had as a kid.
Like you probably think I'm a psycho as it is being married to me, but imagine if you walked out here and I was out here playing with these. But you could set it up, and it looks cool. And like I said, when people see this room that aren't like, if you're watching this, you're probably kind of into this, or if you're watching this, you know who I am, so you're kind of into it because you know what it means to me. But trust me, I've had a lot of people, because I've had people stay with me a lot during the summers. I've talked about that before, the ball players staying here, that have no interest in this kind of stuff. And they walk in here and they see what I've done. And even though it's not their cup of tea and they're not into it, people that see it are very impressed. It's kind of sets you back because they can see the effort and the scale, what you've done. And, you get the ring, you put all the stuff on it. People walk by, they may not be into figures, they may not be into wrestling, but they see it and they go, wow, that's a cool thing. You can tell because it's like with anything, you may not be into quilting, but if your grandma makes a big quilt, you can appreciate that your old grandma sat there and took yarn and made this quilt out of it.
It's almost like adult diorama, basically. Like that's the best way that I can explain it, is that you're setting up something that you want it to tell a story almost.
Like that room in your house that your parents had you weren't allowed to go into.
Oh, the dead room?
Yes, the dead room.
Yes, the dead room. Love you, Nanny.
So, like, everyone has that thing. Or your dad's garage that had all the tools in there, but you weren't allowed to touch them because they're up on the pegboard. Or the classic car, you're not allowed, your dad will roll it out, open the hood and stand there with a beer and look at it, and the neighbors come by and look at it, but he doesn't drive it nowhere or let anyone touch it. This is our version of that. So, I do thank you, Ball, for taking time out of your busy Sunday to come film with me. And as a parting gift, everybody here that is a guest on Mint Out of the Box receives the home version of Mint Out of the Box, and you'll get that on the way out. But also, you'll receive the Goon figure.
Oh, sweet.
And don't let the fact that you vended with me $20 3 months ago for it sway you in any way. It's still a gift.
Yeah, still good. And it's not in like any fact that it's because I love hockey as well.
Yeah, he's a big hockey fan, so maybe someday he'll have a YouTube channel about hockey, and I'll show up there and not know anything except that one time I saw Pavel Bure after a Kings game.
All right.
So on that note, thank you very much for this extended version of Mint Out of the Box. Hope you have a fantastic week. Stay cool out there because it's hot. We're headed to Denver this week, so any of my fans out in Denver want to see me, I'll be at the Rockies games all next week. Come see me. I'm very hard to miss, especially with the lovely producer Steph, her and her 2 assistants. You'll notice those right away. Have a great week. We'll see you next week. Last week, was I not wearing pants again? Is it recording?
Yeah.